2.
I'm here with my sister, Amina Humphrey. We're like mama, what does that say? A sister from another mother.
Sister from another mother.
Another mother. I have a question, and I know this is like you've heard this 1,000 times.
I know, put me on the hot seat.
Yeah. How do I explain to my 9-year-old son and 7-year-old daughter the N-word? Now they listen to a little rap.
Oh my goodness.
And I just say it's a horrible, horrible word that was used to describe black people, and it is so powerful that we just don't use it. It's so hateful.
Yeah.
But what would you say?
To a 7 and 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Well, first I think you're doing the right thing as a parent.
Well, thank you.
Because I'm thinking about what you're saying and I'm comparing and contrasting it with what I'm doing in my classroom at the university.
Okay.
So we talk about the N-word. And so many of the students, they have become knowledgeable about the word through hip hop or through rap lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
And so they think,
It's
I
cool.
didn't say that
It's
word,
cool.
it's cool,
No.
right?
Yeah.
And so I start sharing with them some historical information about the word,
Yeah.
where it came from, how it has evolved,
Yes.
how it's been used in Mark Twain's work.
Yes.
But he was using it as a form of satire and a critique of slavery too. So
Sure.
there's some things there.
There's like a pass under certain circumstances, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
But my children have absolutely no right to use that word, and that is clear in my house. How can I tell them from your perspective without just being so upset about it? Because that's my visceral response, is to be angry when I hear it.
Well, I also get into with my students.
And these are college students, by the way. My children are in elementary school.
And so I will share this with you. I take the concept from college, but I also break it down to the 7 and 9-year-old.
Okay.
Now, some images from history are very graphic, but they're actual accounts of lynchings.
Yes.
And the N-word is being used. That's the last word a person will hear before they are lynched.
Oh.
Now, when you put it within that context of there is violence associated with that word, children, it's not just the word itself, but also the history of the word.
The power behind it, the intention of it.
Yeah, the intention of it.
Yeah.
And you can explain that to a 7 or 9-year-old.
Yeah.
Because as I'm sure you're teaching your children, violence is not the answer.
Absolutely.
And words have power.
Yes.
So it's beyond just hip hop and what the lyrics that you hear.
So, okay, on that note, how do I say, well, I know it's in the words, I know they're saying it, but you can't. So how do you say? Because, we've had this discussion before in our class where we talk about it's okay if a black man says and calls his buddy that, and they have this banter between each other, but nobody else. So how do you even tolerate that? And what's your position? Because
my position on it is, some will be offended by this, but I don't feel that one group has ownership of that word.
All right.
Right? I actually don't try to go out and say that word. Mm-hmm. Yes, I have said it. Mm-hmm. I've said it in anger. It's been used in anger towards me, but I'm conscious at this point not to make those types of mistakes now, right? But for someone to say that's our word from this particular racial group, you can't do that. Mm-hmm. But I will tell you, when I go out in public and I hear groups of white teens, Asian teens, and Latino teens use that word, I'm like, my goodness, I'm from down south, and it's been totally used in a different manner towards me. So when I see the transracial usage of that word, it's problematic because these teens have not been taught the history.
Yeah,
Once
and that is the piece.
Yes, that's
it's just like being called a homo, or becoming a lesbian, or a dyke, or a fag. The same thing, that when it was intended with aggression and hatred and anger, just as the N-word was. Yeah. And that is my position on the BITCH word. I hate that word.
I call it language of oppression, right?
Language of oppression. Powerful, right to the point. Thank you. To be continued.
One last thing, Doc. I just thought of one last thing. Hip-hop has made this word global. So when I've traveled, even to Africa, even being in Morocco, you hear young teenagers using that word. So I think also as a part of a conversation, it's the history, but it's also a conversation with hip hop.
Yeah, I'm ready. If Dr. Dre wants to sit down with me, I'll talk to him.
Oh, love it.
Anyone.
I want to be in the audience.
No, You're on stage with me.
All
We're
right,
talking,
that'll work too.
We want to talk to Dr. Dre. LL Cool J, I don't think so. But what about Drake? Does Drake say that?
Let's get Snoop Dogg here.
Snoop Dogg.
He would
I
be
love
awesome.
that man. I
Snoop
love that
would be
man. I
awesome.
would love to have a conversation. I want to know what he feels and how that affects his kids and how, what is the power around that word and how can we help each other, educate each other, but take action globally.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you. Bye.